Pope Francis appeals for peace in the Central African Republic. President Faustin-Archange Touadéra was re-elected for a second term last week. Opposition candidates claimed the election was rigged. Violence broke out since the beginning of December surrounding the elections. The most recent attack happened on Sunday. Joining us now is EWTN Newsroom correspondent Colm Flynn. Colm, good to see you. So what did Pope Francis say about the situation in Central African Republic?
Good evening, Tracy. Well, Pope Francis said yesterday in his Angelus address that he was following the situation very closely in the country, which is right in the heart of Africa. It borders with other countries like Sudan, Chad and the Congo. And the Holy Father, Tracy, he noted that the country's people have expressed their desire to stay on the path towards peace. And he urged all opposing parties in the nation to practice respect and full dialogue and to reject hatred and avoid all forms of violence.
Colm, what has the situation been like for the people of this country in recent years?
Well, the Central African Republic, it's one of the poorest and most unstable countries on the African continent, despite, Tracy, it having a vast wealth of resources such as diamonds and uranium. And according to the United Nations, half of the country's population is dependent on humanitarian aid. Now, since around the start of December, tensions have been extremely high around the general election. And on December the 27th, President Faustin-Archange Touadéra, he was re-elected for a second term. And the Constitutional Court in the country, it had ruled that the former president, Francois Bozie, he could not run in this election. And he is supported by the rebel groups and by those who oppose the current president. So this led to a lot of violent clashes. Now, Bishop Juan-Jose Aguirre Munoz of Bangasou, that's a town on the country's border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, he said this week that he was calling for peace after his town was overrun, as he put it, by rebel groups and other mercenaries. And many people have fled the town into Congo as a result of this terrible violence.
Colm, speaking of peace, are there any signs the country is actually on a path to peace?
Well, the bishop has said that the country is now paralysed, really, by the violence during and after the election. And he said people have fled, like I said, others are in hiding. And he is in talks with the local evangelical leader to try and be bridge builders between the feuding sides in the hope of helping to restore some kind of normal to their cities and to the country. Now, the bishop has also spoken about all the orphans that are left in the country as a result of their parents being killed. He said, you look into the orphans' eyes and they know nothing about rebels or power struggles. All they know is the sound of machine guns, and that's scary, he said. Now, the country will have to be united, Tracy, to see a smooth rollout of the coronavirus vaccine. Father Charles Kulfufa, he is the coordinator of the African Task Force of the Vatican's COVID Commission. He said the main issues for African countries in general to receive the vaccine are rich countries outbuying supply, patent laws and international cooperation. Africa relies heavily on the World Trade Organization to provide pharmaceutical products. Tracy?
All right. Thank you so much, Colm Flynn, EWTN Newsroom correspondent. Thanks for that report.
Thank you, Tracy.